This tutorial series is for BuildCraft version 4.2.2, the version for Minecraft 1.6.4, which is the current version of Minecraft for the Feed the Beast mod packs. What is up, guys? Welcome to a new series. It is a tutorial series, and since I'm doing all the Agrarian Skies stuff right now, I figure a good place to start on tutorials would be mods. Do some like ModSpotlight / tutorials. And so the first thing we're going to do it on is BuildCraft. Now, BuildCraft isn't in the Agrarian Skies, but it's a really popular mod and I really like it. And so, as you can see, it adds a lot of crazy stuff to the game. You can just look at all the stuff that I've laid out here for the tutorial. But the first thing we're going to check out is World Gen. So let's go into a new world and check that out. Alright guys, so as you can see, I've loaded up a brand new world. This isn't the spawn point. Whoa, there's some lag there from World Gen. However, the first thing you want to look for when you're starting BuildCraft in your Minecraft world or a place to live, you want to see if there's oil nearby. And oil will look like this. It can be in water, it can be on ground, anywhere on land, it can be underground even. But this is the first thing you want to look for because this is the main thing that BuildCraft adds, is oil. Now oil usually spawns in a pillar like this. And all the source blocks, like you can tell, these are source blocks because they're not flowing. That's one bucket of oil, just like it would be water. As you can see, it goes way deep underground as well. And right here, at the bottom of the oil geyser that you find, is a giant oil reserve. Now all this, most of it anyway, is source blocks. So you'll see this will get you a ton of oil when you find the geysers. Now, one thing you also want to look out for is the taller the geyser, which this is a kind of small one actually. Both of these are small, but there is two next to each other, so that'll be a lot of oil. But the taller the geyser, the deeper it goes underground and the more oil you have. So this is the first thing you want to look out for. And BuildCraft adds two other things to World Gen. They're extremely rare. So, if you find one, you'll probably want to make a base there. But one of them is, they're both biomes, and the first one is a ocean oil field biome. And basically what that is a giant ocean, kind of like this one that's out here. It's not super big, but it will have these geysers everywhere. It will just be filled with geysers. And I've seen one in my time of playing on BuildCraft, and it had so much oil. It was insane. And the other biome you want to look out for is the desert oil field biome. And that's basically the same thing, only it's a giant desert instead of an ocean. And it will be filled with oil. Now the reason you want oil is because oil is BuildCraft's best fuel source. If you're playing with other mods, you can use other things to help you with that if you don't want to do oil. But if you're just playing with BuildCraft, or if you're playing with a couple mods and BuildCraft, oil is a really good way to go for power generation. And so we're going to go back to the tutorial world and we're going to start looking at that. Alright guys, as you can see, we're back in the tutorial world. And the first thing I want to talk about is some of the basics of crafting in BuildCraft. One of the main components you're going to need is gears. There's multiple tiers of them, and they can get pretty expensive. Now the first one is a wood gear, which is 4 sticks. The second gear is a stone gear, which is 4 cobble around a wood gear. Then you do 4 iron around a stone gear, gets you an iron gear. 4 gold around an iron gear gets you a gold gear, and 4 diamonds around a gold gear gets you the final tier, which is the diamond gear. Now, the next thing you're going to want to craft is a wrench. And a wrench is made with a stone gear and 3 iron ingots. And this tool is used to manipulate most of the blocks that BuildCraft adds, like engines. Now, engines are the way to generate BuildCraft power, which is called MJs, or Minecraft Joules. There's 3 tiers of engines that come with BuildCraft itself. Now there's other mods that add different engines that can work with BuildCraft, some of them. And so if you're playing in a mod pack, you probably have different options. However, since I'm only covering BuildCraft today, I'm just going to be covering what engines it adds to the game. First one is the Redstone Engine. Now the Redstone Engine is crafted as so. 2 wood gears, piston, glass, and 3 oak wood planks. Or any planks. Now, the Redstone Engine doesn't need anything in it. If you right-click on it, you're not going to open an inventory or a GUI or anything like that. All it needs is a redstone signal to run. So as you see, I turned that on. It's not going to run right now because it's not connected to anything. But if you watch an engines heat up in BuildCraft. And so you'll see there it's blue right now. And as it heats up, it will start turning green and then yellow and then red. And eventually the Redstone Engine will blink between red and yellow. And that's its max speed. And at its max speed, it can generate 0.05 Minecraft joules a tick, or 1 Minecraft joule a second. So it's a really low tier engine, not really good for much, except for pipes and piping items places, and we'll get to that over here. Now the second tier of engine is a Stirling Engine, and that's crafted like so. 3 cobblestone, a glass, a piston, and 2 stone gears. Now, this does have a GUI. As you can see, it has 1 open slot. And if I turn this off, you can open up this little side thing that says energy. It tells you the current output, how much Minecraft joules it's currently making, and how much Minecraft joules it's stored in its system, and how hot it is. Now, this slot right here is for fuel, and the Stirling Engine can take quite a few different types of fuel. The first tier being cactus and sugarcane, the next being oak and sticks, the third being oak wood and oak wood planks, charcoal, coal, and the last being a lava bucket. It can also take some fuel from other mods like Industrial Craft if you have that installed. But these are the main vanilla fuels that it can use. Now, I wrote down some notes because I couldn't remember all of this, but let's talk about the Redstone Engine exploding. Because these engines heat up, as I said before, and they can explode. The Redstone Engine can explode if it is running and not connected to anything. So if we turned this on and left it on, it could eventually explode. If it's attached to a pipe, however, or something like that, it won't explode. Now the Stirling Engine, it will explode if heat reaches 120 degrees, or if the stored capacity reaches 1000 MJ. And it creates a bigger explosion than the Redstone Engine. Now the fuels that I said that this can take last different times. The cactus and the sugarcane are only 2.5 seconds, while the lava is 1000 seconds. So the lava will obviously generate a lot more power than any of its counterparts. You can see how it goes up a little bit each time, and lava being way above all the rest. Now the third tier of the engines is the Combustion Engine, and that is crafted like so. Iron gears, piston, and a glass. Now, the Combustion Engine also has a GUI. As you can see, it has the same energy thing as the Stirling Engine does. It's also got 2 tanks for liquid. And it's also got a slot where you can put a bucket in to fill it up. Now, the Combustion Engine doesn't run on solid fuel like the Stirling Engine, so you can't use coal or wood. You have to use oil or fuel. Now, oil we talked about already on how you get it in the world, and we'll talk about how you can farm it and stuff in a little bit later in this tutorial. And we'll also talk about how to get fuel, which comes from oil, a little bit later in the tutorial as well. Now, at the Stirling Engine's max speed, it is 1 Minecraft joule a tick, which is 20 times faster than the Redstone Engine. At the Combustion Engine's max speed, it can be either 3 to 6 Minecraft joules a tick, 3 being oil and 6 being using fuel, which is 3 to 6 times faster than the Stirling Engine. Now, you can see it has 2 tanks here. One is for fuel, and the other one is for water. If you do not put water in the combustion engine, it will really quickly heat up and it will explode, creating a really big explosion. And you definitely don't want to have that happen when it's really expensive and you might have pipes and stuff around connecting to it. So you don't want to have that happen. Now the combustion engine, it will explode if the heat reaches 10,000 degrees. It needs a constant supply of water, and oil. If you put oil in it, it has 3 MJs a tick for 20,000 ticks, which is 60,000 Minecraft joules total from 1 bucket of oil. 1 bucket of fuel generates 6 Minecraft joules a tick for 100,000 ticks, for a total of 600,000 MJ from 1 bucket of fuel. That's a lot of power. I think that this might have changed in recent versions. It might be a little bit less now. But the wiki that I looked at, and from my own experience, this seems to be pretty accurate. Alright guys, I just went to do a little wiki checking to double check on that. And I went to 4 different wikis. The first 3 said that it was what I had written down. However, I don't think they've been updated because the 4th wiki says that in mod packs that are 1.6.4 or above, that oil is now 3 Minecraft joules a tick for 5,000 ticks and produces a total of 15,000 instead of 20,000. And then fuel is a lot less than it was. It was 6 MJ a tick still, for 25,000 ticks, which amounts to 150,000 total MJ. So, a little bit of a change there on the 1.6.4 packs, where oil and fuel in the combustion engines aren't as powerful as they once were, but that's okay because you can usually find a lot of oil. If you find one, even just one geyser, it's going to last you for a while. Let's talk about engines and how they work. They produce MJ every 10 ticks, give or take. So basically, engines will move like a piston, kind of. They'll have this up stage, and they'll go down, and they'll move up and down. And every time they reach a certain point at the top, it ejects a certain amount of MJ. Now, it doesn't eject the amount it says. It doesn't eject 1 MJ for that, because it took usually around 10 ticks to get to that point. So it will usually generate about, let's take the Stirling Engine for example. If it took 10 ticks to make one function to produce MJ, then it would produce 10 MJ every time it fires off. Which means that you'll have to watch out for cables and stuff, because we'll get to how to store energy or how to get energy in different cables and stuff like that, and what kind of cables you'll need. Let me quickly do a time set here. Alright, so the next part is going to be about pipes. Now, there's a lot to cover about pipes because there's a lot of different kinds. However, first let's just go over crafting recipes. Pipes are made from, every pipe is made with glass in between 2 blocks. Now the wooden ones are made out of planks. Cobblestone's cobble. Stone is stone. You got iron, gold, diamond, sandstone, quartz, obsidian, emerald, and void. Now this one has a little bit of a special recipe because it takes 2 different items. And each of these recipes make 8 pipes of their respected type. Alright, so let's first talk about how they work. Wooden pipes are the first thing you want to talk about because it's the first seen in any pipe network most of the time. They are the type of pipe that pulls items out of an inventory. So if I have a chest here and it has some cobble in it, and say I want this pipe to put it in a furnace, and I will have another chest and it has coal and I want that to put it in the furnace so I can make smooth stone automatically. Well, you can't do it with just pipes alone. You're going to need a Redstone Engine, which is the best possible engine. You don't need anything else. This one at max power will pump out pipes pretty quickly. Ah, stupid weather. Alright. So another type of pipe is the Cobblestone transport pipe. Now, if you look at the Cobblestone transport pipe, it says it has high drag, and it won't connect to stone or quartz. The stone has medium drag and won't connect to cobble or quartz. And the quartz pipes have low drag and won't connect to cobblestone or stone. And what drag means is, let's go ahead and turn on this engine. As you can see, it moves up, it does its thing, and once it pumps out, it gets an item. Now what that means is that it moves really slow in a cobblestone pipe. Now what you're going to see here is that this is going to bounce out of the pipe. I'm going to explain why in just a sec. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Basically, if you look at a furnace interface, the bottom is not where cobblestone goes to get cooked. That is where coal goes. Now, the way a furnace works is you can either pump coal or the fuel source from the bottom or the sides, or maybe even the front or back. So let's go ahead and turn this pipe on. And we'll let it shoot some coal out of the pipes. And you'll see that it moves a little bit faster in the stone pipe. Not by much, but a little bit faster. And it's going into the right slot. Now I have another chest of cobble up here, using the quartz pipe, and a golden transport pipe. And this is basically a boost pipe. It basically just makes items move really fast. It boosts the items through it. Now this is going in through the top, so that means it will go into the top slot of the furnace, and you'll start automatically producing stone. You could also have another pipe connected to the side that pumps out the stone into a different chest. Okay, one more thing to look at is the pipe plug. This is a little bit later on in the BuildCraft thing, because you have to have a certain machine to create these first. But basically, you see this pipe isn't connecting to this chest. It means it's because the pipe plug is making it so the pipe doesn't connect to any inventory that the side it's on. Now, if you look at the engines now, as I was saying before, it starts heating up, and you can see how fast it's pumping them out now. We'll go ahead and turn those off. Now, the other thing you want to know about wooden pipes is that you can change which inventory it's going to pull out from based off the transparent side and the opaque side. The opaque side is what inventory it pulls from, the transparent side is where it goes. You can do that with the BuildCraft wrench by right-clicking. So say I want to send some cobble from this chest over there. I can just turn that on, and it will take from this side and go into the other side. Alright, now let's talk a little bit about sandstone transport pipe. It's basically the same as the other pipes, except for it can connect to all the types of pipes. It doesn't ignore pipes like this one does, as you see. It connects to all of them. So now let's go on to the Obsidian transport pipe and the void pipe. Let's go ahead and grab some cobblestone. Alright, so the Obsidian transport pipe is pretty special because it can take an item out of the world and put it into a pipe network. So anything that lands on it can go into that. And one good use for this would be if you were having an egg farm, a chicken farm, and you wanted to collect the eggs, they could set a pipe up and they can just lay their eggs on the pipe, and it will automatically go into a pipe system you can send to a chest. Now, if you also notice the void pipe, it's pretty self-explanatory. It voids any items that pass through it and destroys them. Now, the iron transport pipe is pretty cool because if you look, there's 3 opaque sides and 1 transparent side. The 3 opaque sides is input, and the transparent side is output. So, if I were to set this to say go that way, that means that any items that come in here are going to go to the right and bounce out. But if I set it up to the void pipe, any items that come from any direction are automatically going to go up into the void pipe. And you can see I also use the pipe plugs here to keep them in a compact design. The next pipe to talk about is the diamond transport pipe. This pipe is a little bit more complicated than the other pipes, but it's really not when you get the hang of it. Basically, if you look at it, it has colors on different sides. If we put a pipe, let's just grab this one, on a different side, you'll see it has another color. And if we put it on the back, it would have green on the back. So all these colors you can see are in here. Now let's say I have a chest of apples, a chest of wood, and a chest of oak saplings that I'm getting from my tree farm. And I want to put them all in this chest, and I want them to go where I want them to go, in the right chest. So let's grab an oak wood, an apple, and a sapling. Let's open up the diamond pipe with an empty hand, and we'll say we want the oak wood to go down the black path, the apples to go down the white, and the saplings to go down red. So we'll say oak wood, and you grab your item and you left click into the slot, and it will create a ghost of that item. I want apples into red, nope, saplings into red, and apples into white. Now we can put these back, turn on our engine, and it will start pumping items out. So here's the first one, it's wood. That's going to go down into the wood chest. Now it's going to pump out an apple. And that's going to go up into the apple chest. Now it's going to pump out a sapling. That's going to go into the sapling chest. And you can also do multiple items. Say I want cobble to go with saplings. Let's stick a piece of cobble in there. Could do up to this many items, and then you can add another transport pipe to add even more items to the system. Another diamond transport pipe. So it's a really useful way to do get some auto sorting systems going. Alright, the next pipe to check is the emerald transport pipe. Now this pipe is a little bit different. If you look, I don't have a wood pipe here, and you might be wondering why. Well, the emerald transport pipe can act like a wood pipe. Now if you look in the chest, I have dirt, I have some cobble, I have some stone. If you right click the emerald transport pipe with an empty hand, you'll see you have filters. And you have the option of blocking or non-blocking. Let's say I'd like to put dirt. Let dirt go through. If nothing's selected, we'll let that one go through real quick. But if nothing's selected, you'll see nothing comes out. So you have to apply a filter for something to come out. Let's say we want all this to come out. So it took out the stone. It's taking out a cobble, and it doesn't round robin item use. So it does one at a time. But if you look, it's no longer taking anything out because there's no more stone. Because stone was its next item to take out, but there's none left. Now if we add a stone, it will go through one more cycle of stone, cobble, and then dirt. It will stop again though. That's because it's in mode blocking. However, if you turn it to non-blocking, it will continue to pull out the rest of the items that are in its filter. Okay, so that's how the emerald transport pipe works. That's the last of the transport pipes. And we have fluid transport pipes, which is the next thing we're going to talk about real quick before we wrap up this first part. Now let's first talk about how to craft them. First thing you're going to need is cactus greens. which, if you know from Minecraft, you get that from smelting a cactus. You put that in a crafting table, and you get pipe sealant. You put pipe sealant with any transport pipe, and it will put it into a fluid pipe. You can combine it with any one of them, and it will turn it to that. So you can see we have wooden fluid transport pipe. I don't think you can do it with quartz, though. Quartz doesn't turn into a fluid transport pipe. Alright, let's just change the weather to clear real quick. So you can see I have wooden, cobble, golden, stone, iron, sandstone, emerald, and void. Just like you would have. They all work the same way as they would as regular transport pipes, except for that the emerald fluid pipe doesn't have a filter or anything like that. It just pulls out fluids faster than the wooden one. And gold holds more fluids. Cobble's the least amount. Stone's next to cobble. Iron's better, and sandstone I think is the same as stone. So a perfect pipe system would have emerald pulling and gold all the way down. And that is it for the fluid pipes. You'll see some of them in use when we get to that. But that's going to be the end of the first pipe, or the first episode. We learned about pipes, obviously, because it's on my mind. And we learned about engines, different methods for generating power, as well as world gen. And the next part, we'll start working on how to use that power, and basically just what things you can build that will help you get resources and different things like that to progress through BuildCraft. So if you enjoyed this video or helped you out a lot, please leave a like, as this took a lot of time and a lot of effort to try to make all these things happen. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel to be notified when I upload more videos. See you next time.